There will be days when motivation disappears. Days when you wake up with no excitement, no drive, no emotional fuel pushing you forward. Days when your alarm goes off and every fiber of your being wants to hit snooze. Days when the goals that once excited you now feel like burdens. This audiobook is not for the days when you feel inspired. It is not for the moments when everything aligns and you're riding a wave of enthusiasm and clarity. It is for the days when you feel empty, tired, unsure. When the fire has gone out and all that remains is the decision to keep moving forward or to stop. Because real growth does not depend on motivation. It depends on something stronger, something quieter, something unbreakable. That thing is mental steel. Pause. Take a breath. This is where strength is built. The truth about motivation. Let's start with an uncomfortable truth. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes with mood, comfort, and circumstance. It rises when things are easy and disappears when things get hard. It thrives on novelty and withers with repetition. It's wonderful when it's present, but it's a terrible foundation for building anything that lasts. If your progress depends on motivation, your growth will always be fragile. You'll be at the mercy of your feelings, your environment, your energy levels, your sleep quality, your stress, your mood. You'll be riding an emotional roller coaster, making progress on good days and losing ground on bad ones. Most people wait to feel ready. They wait to feel inspired. They wait to feel like it. They tell themselves, I'll start when I have more energy, or I'll do it when I feel motivated, or I'll begin once I'm in the right headspace. And while they wait, life passes. Opportunities vanish. Potential remains untapped. Dreams stay dreams. The people you admire, the ones who've built something meaningful, didn't wait for the right feeling. They moved forward regardless of how they felt. They understood a fundamental principle. Motivation is a bonus, not a requirement. Mental steel is built when action continues after motivation leaves. It's forged in the moments when every instinct says stop, but you choose to continue. When your body says rest, but you know rest has turned into avoidance. When your mind offers a dozen reasonable excuses, but you move forward anyway. Ask yourself honestly, how often do you stop because the feeling is gone? How many projects have you abandoned when the initial excitement faded? How many goals have you set and forgotten when the work became routine? This moment of awareness is the beginning of strength. Recognizing your dependence on motivation is the first step toward transcending it. Pause. Reflect on your relationship with motivation. What mental steel really is. Mental steel is not aggression. It is not hype. It is not pumping yourself up with loud music and shouting affirmations in the mirror. Mental steel is calm discipline under pressure. It is the ability to move forward without emotional support. It is stability when excitement fades. It is the quiet certainty that you will do what you said you would do, regardless of how you feel about it in the moment. Think about actual steel. Steel is not forged in comfort. It is forged under extreme heat, enormous pressure, and constant resistance. Raw materials are heated to temperatures that would destroy softer substances. They are hammered, shaped, cooled, and tempered. The process is neither quick nor comfortable. So it is with the mind. Mental steel develops through repeated exposure to discomfort, through choosing action when rest feels more appealing, through continuing when stopping feels justified, through showing up on the days when showing up feels impossible. The person with mental steel doesn't need a motivational speech to start working. They don't need perfect conditions to take action. They don't need to feel confident to move forward. They simply do what needs to be done, with the emotional range of someone brushing their teeth. It's not exciting. It's not dramatic. It just is. This is not a call to ignore your feelings or to suppress your emotions. Mental steel is not emotional repression. It's emotional independence. You can acknowledge how you feel without letting those feelings dictate your actions. You can feel tired and still work. You can feel unmotivated and still train. You can feel uncertain and still create. The feeling and the action are separate. This separation is the foundation of mental steel. Pause. Let that distinction settle. Separate feelings from action. One of the most powerful mental shifts you can make is this. You do not act because you feel good. You act because you decided. Feelings are weather. They change constantly, influenced by sleep, food, stress, hormones, and 1,000 other factors beyond your immediate control. Some days are sunny. Some days are stormy. But the weather doesn't determine whether you have responsibilities. It just determines whether those responsibilities are pleasant or unpleasant. Decisions are direction. When you make a decision, a real decision, not a wish or hope, you commit to a course of action regardless of the conditions. The decision precedes the feeling. The decision overrides the feeling when necessary. Most people have this backwards. They wait for the right feeling to make the right decision. But feelings follow patterns of behavior. Act consistently, and the feelings eventually align. Wait for feelings to inspire action, and you'll wait forever. When motivation is gone, ask one simple question. What is the smallest correct action I can take right now? Not the perfect action. Not the most impressive action. Not the action that will transform everything overnight. The correct one. The one that moves you 1 inch closer to where you want to be. Maybe it's opening the document. Maybe it's putting on your workout clothes. Maybe it's reading 1 paragraph. Maybe it's writing 1 sentence. Maybe it's making 1 phone call. The size doesn't matter. The direction does. Do that. Then do the next. Then the next. This is how steel forms. Not through massive, heroic efforts that require enormous motivation, but through tiny, consistent actions that require only a decision. Over time, these small actions compound. They build momentum. They create identity. They forge mental steel. Pause. Reflect on the smallest correct action you could take today. The discipline mindset. Discipline is misunderstood. When people hear the word discipline, they often think of rigid military structure, harsh self-criticism, or forcing yourself to do things you hate. They think it means grinding through misery with clenched teeth and white knuckles. In reality, discipline means structure. It means creating systems that remove the need for constant decision-making. It means establishing patterns that become automatic, so you're not relying on willpower every single time. Structure removes negotiation from your life. Think about how much energy you waste negotiating with yourself every day. Should I work out or skip it? Should I eat healthy or indulge? Should I work on my project or scroll social media? Should I wake up at my planned time or sleep a little longer? Each negotiation drains your mental resources. Each decision point is an opportunity for resistance to win. When your routine is clear, motivation becomes irrelevant. You don't argue with yourself. You don't debate. You don't wait. You move. The person with a structured routine doesn't decide whether to work in the morning. They work in the morning. That's what mornings are for. The decision was made once, properly, and now it's just execution. This doesn't mean your life becomes robotic or joyless. It means your most important actions are protected from the volatility of your emotions. The non-negotiables happen. Everything else has flexibility. Mental steel grows in environments where decisions are already made. where the architecture of your day supports your goals automatically, where your identity is expressed through your routine, not through constant acts of willpower. Pause. Consider your current level of structure. Build non-negotiable routines. Choose one daily action that happens no matter how you feel. 1, not 5, not 10. Not a complete life overhaul. One action that becomes absolutely non-negotiable for the next 30 days. It could be 20 minutes of focused work on your most important project. It could be 10 pages of reading that challenges or educates you. It could be 15 minutes of physical movement. It could be 5 minutes of reflection or journaling. The specific action matters less than the commitment. What matters is that you create one small island of certainty in the chaos of daily life. One thing that happens regardless of mood, energy, circumstance, or excuse. Protect it fiercely. This means planning around it, preparing for it, defending it from competing demands. If 20 minutes of focused work is your non-negotiable, then you schedule it at a time when you're least likely to be interrupted. You prepare your workspace the night before. You eliminate distractions. You treat it with the seriousness of a doctor's appointment or a meeting with your most important client. When motivation disappears, this habit becomes your anchor. It's the one thing that remains constant. It's proof that you still follow through. It's evidence that you are who you claim to be. Consistency builds identity. Every time you honor your commitment, you reinforce the belief. I am someone who keeps promises to myself. I am someone who follows through. I am someone who doesn't need perfect conditions to take action. Identity builds strength. Once your identity shifts from someone trying to be disciplined to someone who is disciplined, the entire game changes. You're no longer fighting against yourself. You're simply being yourself. Start with one non-negotiable. Master it. Let it become automatic. Then, if needed, add another. But only after the first has become part of who you are. Pause. Let that sink in. Choose your one non-negotiable. The silent advantage: strong minds are built quietly. No announcements, no validation, no audience, no social media posts declaring your intentions. No need for others to witness your efforts. No requirement for external acknowledgement. The strongest people you admire didn't become strong by talking about it. They became strong by repeating hard things in silence. They trained when no one was watching. They worked when no one was applauding. They persisted when no one would have blamed them for quitting. There's a reason for this. Silence removes pressure. When you announce your goals, you invite judgment, comparison, and expectation. You create external pressure that can either inflate your ego prematurely or crush your motivation under the weight of others' opinions. Silence removes comparison. When you work privately, you're not measuring yourself against anyone else's highlight reel. You're not distracted by how fast others are progressing or how impressive their results look. You're focused solely on your own path, your own pace, your own progress. Silence allows focus. Without an audience, you can make mistakes freely. You can experiment without embarrassment. You can be mediocre in the beginning without shame. You can focus entirely on the work itself, not on how the work appears to others. Mental steel prefers quiet. It develops in the absence of external validation. It grows when your only feedback comes from within, from the satisfaction of honoring your commitments and the pride of pushing past your previous limits. The loudest people are rarely the strongest. The people posting constantly about their discipline are often the ones struggling most to maintain it. The truly disciplined don't need to broadcast their efforts because their results will speak eventually, and their identity doesn't require external confirmation. Pause. Feel the power of private progress. Train in private. For the next 30 days, do not post your goals. Do not seek praise. Do not explain your process to anyone who doesn't need to know. Work privately. Wake up early and work while the world sleeps. Train in the evening when no one is around. Build your skills in the margins of the day when attention is elsewhere. Track progress honestly. Keep a private journal or spreadsheet. Record what you did, not what you intended to do. Be ruthlessly honest with yourself about effort and results. This private accountability is more powerful than any public declaration. Let results speak later. When the work is done, when the transformation is complete, when the project is finished, then, if you choose, you can share. But even then, you might find that you don't need to. The satisfaction of the achievement itself might be enough. When motivation is gone, silence keeps you moving. There's no performance anxiety, no need to maintain a public image of consistency, no fear of judgment if you stumble. Just you, your commitment, and the work. Some of the most powerful transformations happen in complete obscurity. The person who loses 50 pounds without posting a single gym photo. The entrepreneur who builds a business for 2 years before launching publicly. The writer who completes an entire manuscript before telling anyone they're writing. They understand that the work is sacred, that the process is personal, that mental steel is forged in private, away from eyes that might not understand the struggle. Pause. Commit to silent strength. Staying. When quitting feels logical, there will be moments when quitting feels reasonable, when stopping feels justified, when rest turns into avoidance, and avoidance feels like self-care. These moments are critical. They separate the people who build mental steel from the people who remain dependent on motivation. Quitting is always logical. There's always a good reason to stop. You're tired. You're busy. You've done enough. It's not working anyway. You'll start again tomorrow. You deserve a break. The timing isn't right. The conditions aren't perfect. Every one of these thoughts is reasonable. Everyone is also an obstacle to growth. Mental steel is built when you stay just a little longer. Not forever. Not until you collapse. Just longer than comfort allows. Just past the point where most people would stop. Growth often hides behind boredom, frustration, and repetition. The breakthrough comes one rep after you wanted to quit. The insight arrives one paragraph after writing felt pointless. The transformation happens one day after giving up seemed sensible. Those who endure quietly win, not through superhuman effort, but through ordinary persistence, through showing up one more time than they felt like showing up, through continuing one day longer than comfort dictated. This doesn't mean ignoring genuine exhaustion or pushing through injury. Mental steel includes wisdom. It knows the difference between discomfort that leads to growth and pain that leads to damage. It knows when to push and when to recover. But it also knows that most of the time, what feels like exhaustion is just resistance. What feels like physical limitation is often mental hesitation. What feels like the need for rest is frequently the desire for ease. Mental steel can tell the difference. Pause. Reflect on your relationship with discomfort. Redefine success. Success is not intensity. Success is continuation. This is a radical shift from how most people think about achievement. We're taught to value big efforts, dramatic transformations, impressive performances. We admire the person who works 12-hour days, who trains until they can barely walk, who sacrifices everything for their goal. But that's not sustainable. And sustainability is what builds mental steel. If you showed up today, you won. If you took one step forward, you won. If you didn't quit, you won. This mindset removes pressure and builds durability. You're not competing with anyone else's intensity. You're not trying to impress anyone with your effort. You're simply maintaining forward motion, regardless of speed. Imagine two people with the same goal. The first works with tremendous intensity for 2 weeks, then burns out and stops completely. The second works with moderate consistency for 6 months. Who makes more progress? The consistent person wins every time. Not because their daily effort is more impressive, but because their cumulative effort is greater. They understand that success is not about peak performance. It's about average performance over time. This redefinition of success is liberating. You don't need to be at your best every day. You just need to show up. Some days you'll do great work. Some days you'll do mediocre work. Some days you'll do the minimum required. All of it counts. All of it builds mental steel. The person with mental steel doesn't judge themselves harshly on low-energy days. They don't abandon their routine because today's effort wasn't as good as yesterday's. They recognize that consistency includes variation, that showing up at 70% is better than not showing up at all. Mental steel grows slowly, but it lasts. Unlike motivation-based effort that burns bright and fades fast, discipline-based effort accumulates steadily. It's less exciting in the moment, but far more powerful over time. Pause. Reflect on how you define success. The power of identity. Eventually, discipline becomes identity. This is the ultimate expression of mental steel. You stop asking, "Should I do this?" and start saying, "This is who I am." The question disappears because the answer is already embedded in your sense of self. You don't debate whether to work out because you're someone who works out. You don't negotiate about writing because you're a writer. You don't wonder if you should follow through because you're someone who follows through. Strong people don't rely on motivation. They rely on character. And character is simply identity expressed through consistent action over time. Character is built when no one is watching, when there's no reward except integrity, when there's no audience except your own conscience, when the only thing compelling you forward is the commitment you made to yourself. This is why mental steel is so powerful. It's not dependent on external circumstances. It doesn't require perfect conditions or ideal timing. It doesn't need other people's approval or encouragement. It exists independently, rooted in who you've decided to be. Think about the most reliable people you know. The ones who always follow through, the ones you can count on regardless of circumstances. They're not using willpower constantly. They're expressing identity. Following through is simply what they do because it's who they are. You can become this person, not through a sudden transformation, but through consistent reinforcement of the identity you're building. Pause. Consider who you're becoming. Become someone who shows up. Stop chasing outcomes. Start becoming consistent. This is perhaps the most important shift you can make. Most people are outcome-focused. They want the finished project, the transformed body, the successful business, the impressive achievement. And because they're focused on the outcome, every day that doesn't produce dramatic results feels like failure. But outcomes are largely outside your control. You can't control whether your business succeeds. You can control whether you work on it consistently. You can't control whether your book becomes a bestseller. You can control whether you write every day. When you shift your focus from outcomes to identity, everything changes. Your goal is no longer to achieve a specific result. Your goal is to become a specific type of person. Someone who shows up. Someone who follows through. Someone who keeps commitments. Every time you act without motivation, you reinforce a new identity. I am someone who follows through. You're casting a vote for the person you're becoming. Every action is evidence. Every completed commitment is proof. Do this enough times, and the identity becomes automatic. You no longer need to convince yourself to take action because action is simply what you do. It's not a decision anymore. It's an expression of character. That identity is mental steel. It's unshakable because it's built on hundreds or thousands of moments when you chose to act despite not feeling like it. When you prove to yourself that motivation is optional. When you demonstrated that your word to yourself means something. People with this identity don't have secret reserves of willpower. They don't have superior genetics or easier circumstances. They simply have a clear sense of who they are, and they act in alignment with that identity. You build this identity one unglamorous day at a time. One moment of choosing action over comfort. One instance of honoring your commitment when no one would know if you didn't. One more rep, one more page, one more day. Pause. Feel your identity forming. When progress feels invisible, invisible progress is still progress. This is crucial to understand because the times when growth feels invisible are the times most people quit. They've been working consistently, they've been showing up, they've been doing everything right, but they can't see results yet. So they conclude it's not working and they stop. But roots grow underground before trees rise above the surface. A seed doesn't break through the soil on day one. It's doing invisible work beneath the surface, establishing a foundation, developing a root system, preparing for growth that will eventually become obvious. Most people quit during the invisible phase. They plant seeds and then dig them up every few days to check if they're growing. They work out for 3 weeks and wonder why they don't look different yet. They write for a month and wonder why they're not better yet. They build a business for 6 months and wonder why it hasn't taken off yet. They don't understand compounding. They don't trust the process. They need immediate feedback to believe their efforts matter. Those who don't quit during the invisible phase change their lives. They understand that meaningful growth takes time, that transformation is not linear, that there are often long periods where external results don't match internal effort. But the internal work is happening. Neural pathways are forming. Skills are developing. Character is strengthening. Identity is solidifying. Mental steel is being forged. Trust the process you repeat. If you're taking correct action consistently, results will come. They might not come on your timeline. They might not look exactly how you imagined, but they will come. The person with mental steel doesn't need to see progress every day. They trust that consistent action in the right direction will eventually produce results. They understand that plateaus are part of growth, that sometimes you need to keep doing the same thing at the same level before you break through to the next level. Invisible progress is often the most important progress. It's the foundation being laid, the roots growing deep, the preparation for sustainable growth. Don't abandon the process during the invisible phase. That's exactly when mental steel is being forged most intensely. Pause. Trust the invisible work. Calm, grounded, powerful. There will always be days when motivation disappears. That is not a flaw. That is not weakness. That is not a sign that something is wrong with you. That is life. Life includes bad days. Life includes exhaustion. Life includes doubt and uncertainty and moments when you question everything. This is normal. This is human. This is expected. But strength does not disappear with motivation. Strength is built for these moments. Mental steel exists precisely because motivation is unreliable. Mental steel is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is not inspiring to watch in real time. It is steady. It is quiet. It is consistent. When motivation is gone, structure remains. The routines you've built continue. The systems you've established keep operating. The habits you've formed keep pulling you forward. When motivation is gone, discipline remains. The commitment you made to yourself still matters. The identity you're building still guides your actions. The decision to show up still stands. When motivation is gone, identity remains. You are still someone who follows through. You are still someone who does hard things. You are still someone who keeps promises to themselves. Build that, protect that, honor that, and nothing can take it from you. Not bad days, not setbacks, not failure, not doubt, not exhaustion, not lack of motivation. Mental steel is permanent. Once forged, it doesn't disappear. It might be tested, it might be strained, but it doesn't break. You are building something that will serve you for the rest of your life. Every time you act without motivation, you're making a deposit in your mental steel account. Every time you show up despite not feeling like it, you're strengthening the foundation. This work is not glamorous. No one will applaud you for the morning you dragged yourself out of bed when you wanted to sleep. No one will celebrate the day you continued working when you felt like quitting. No one will notice most of the moments when you chose discipline over comfort. But you will know. And that knowledge will compound into unshakable confidence, into calm certainty, into mental steel. So when motivation disappears tomorrow, or next week, or next month, and it will, you'll know what to do. You'll ask, what is the smallest correct action? You'll remember, this is who I am. You'll choose action over feeling. And you'll continue building mental steel, quietly, consistently, until nothing can stop you.